All right, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of For the City. So, as we all know, Monday Night Football just happened. The New York Giants versus the Kansas City Chiefs. New York choked it away like they have all season. Game was close, like I said it would be. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout, unlike my co-host who said they were going to get run off the field. Giants kept it close, but the Giants, they shot themselves in the foot, lost the game 17-20. Costly penalties. So my rundown of this is the New York Giants are they've shown me 8 games. They're one of the most undisciplined teams in the NFL. You had a perfect pick in that game against Mahomes, and you blew it because you were offsides. I'm just, like I said before in last week's episode, the frustration is just there. It's not going to change. The Giants haven't shown me anything. Season's over because to me, it's the halfway. Even though they added another game, it's the halfway point of the season. I don't see you building any momentum to get yourself to 8-8 or even close to that. They put up a good fight though, but that's more of a shot at Kansas City than anything else.
Right.
Kansas City's not a good team. They're really not. They're actually lucky to have a winning record. Not even a winning record. They're 400 club, but they're lucky not to be below 500. They're a terrible team right now. Mahomes, I mean, they can't keep control of the ball. They turn the ball over constantly. So to me, the Giants more lost that game than Kansas City winning, and Kansas City knows it. The Giant, and then that phantom, what killed me and what made my blood boil was that fake phantom face mask call that they called when there was no face mask. He didn't touch the man's face mask. And what I don't understand is, and this is one of the problems, I don't know why they can't call a replay on that to see if the penalty was actually a penalty.
Yeah, those replay rules, man. Every year they bounce back and forth, and I know the pass interference one they tried to experiment with a little bit, didn't go as well as they wanted. But some of that stuff, though, I mean, they got to talk it over. It takes 2 seconds, shoot it up to New York, say, hey, was it a face mask? You don't have to do it over every single one, except for ones that are important times during the game and situations like that. That offsides penalty, that was ticky-tack, man. That was like bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it technically was probably offsides, but I mean, it just seems that way when you're watching these teams that are like, Super Bowl contenders or, have won championships. It just seems like those referees be on that kind of stuff, especially at home too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we were the same way when we played Kansas City earlier in the season, man. We didn't get any calls, just like in the playoffs on that helmet-to-helmet hit on Higgins. You know what I'm saying? But rightfully so. You were right, man. I was really happy at one point to be wrong. I was hoping that they put Kansas City away and buried them for this season. And so because they're in our, in the AFC, so we're trying to compete with them with the Browns. And I was hoping the Giants could pull it out. And you know what it is? It's good teams find ways to win, man. And once they didn't convert that 4th down with like 3 minutes to go, I kind of knew it was over at that point. I said Kansas City's going to come down, score. I didn't think New York had it in them to come back. But it was a great game. I mean, like I said, Jones, he fought through it. I mean, he lost 2 receivers again during the game. You know what I'm saying? It seems to be just a fluky thing, man. Your receivers just keep dropping like flies, man. And it just wasn't meant to be. But like you said, it was a much closer game, much better game than I expected. And I think it is more of an admission on Kansas City as far as how the level of their talent. I mean, New York's playing tough, man. Their defense is starting to show kind of why they finished the season the way they did last year. But, Kansas City's not looking too good, man. They're looking pretty mediocre as it stands right now.
So what this Giants team reminds me of? I forget what season it was with the Browns, when the Browns literally were losing every game at the end of the game. I forget. I don't know if it was the 10-6 season. I forget what season it was. I know they were like 7-9. They were losing games in the last waning minutes of the games. But the Giants have a history of doing this. This is nothing new. If you look, they would lose games consistently in the 4th quarter if he wasn't winning. They would lose it in the end of the game because their defense couldn't hold up. But in this game, this was more of a case of the defense held up. The defense only gave up 20 points. They only gave up 20 points. You can't put this on the D. This has to go strictly on the shoulders of the offense, okay? You have no run game. You just don't. You have no run game. Your receivers are still not catching the ball. Everybody's dropping like flies. Daniel Jones fighting through it. I don't think Daniel's going anywhere. I actually think they need to, and I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face, give this kid some protection, give this kid receivers who can hold on to the ball.
He made some. I was so happy I got to watch the game because it was on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and man, that touchdown throw to Ingram.
Oh yeah,
I think it was Ingram. I mean, he put it just out of the fingertips of the defender. I mean, it was a good route by Ingram, and he sold it. You know, sold the inside move and what did the out. And then he put that ball on the money. I mean, that was a throw right there. And he made some other really, really nice throws. Like he made that early mistake in the beginning of the game. And I don't know what he was looking at. He didn't see that safety coming down and just jumped that. But I mean, other than that, man, everything looked, I mean, he was playing pretty well, man. He ran when he needed to run. So I think you guys, like you said, I think you got a quarterback with Jones. I think he's not bad, man. He's not a slouch. You get him an offensive line. Like I said, maybe Barkley comes back hopefully and stays healthy, and you know what I'm saying, those receivers kind of stop dropping balls on him.
I want them to continue to win, but at the same time, as a smart Giants fan, you always want them to get a high draft pick because maybe you can get offensive linemen, but you don't want them to lose intentionally.
Right.
If they lost the rest of the season, would I cry about it? No, because it's going to give them a top 10, top 5 pick easily in the draft that they can actually draft an offensive lineman. They're going to have a bunch of picks next year anyway in the draft. So
it really depends on the front office, man. I mean, if your front office is anything like ours, the thing you got to worry about that is they're going to blow it up and start over, and which would be terrible because, like you said, I think Judge is a pretty good coach. I think they got a pretty good defensive coordinator. Last thing, I mean, yeah, if they went winless for the rest of the season, they'd have a top pick, but then is Gettleman going to say, you know what, we need a new coach? You know what I'm saying?
Gettleman won't have a choice. He'll be gone. They're going to fire him. Either way it goes.
Or him, right. Or he's gone. Exactly. So that's the thing about losing the rest of your games. It's like, yeah, you get that pick, but then at the same time, it's like, man, you never know what's going to happen, man. If they blow it up, then you're starting at square one again. You know what I'm saying?
But it was an admirable game. The Giants played their hearts out, but like I said, the team is undisciplined. Too many penalties, man. Too many penalties on the squad. They've been calling, penalties all game long. Penalties that hurt you offensively, penalties that hurt you on defense. It's just too many things going on. I don't know why this team is so undisciplined. Unsportsmanlike conduct calls on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. You got to be better than that. You can't go against on the road against a team like that. They were Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders this year, but with that type of pedigree and expect to get calls in your favor, it's not going to work that way, man. But
you're not good enough. You have to play a perfect game.
You're not good enough. But like I said, it was a good game. They tried their hardest. They just ended up losing. I'm just glad, they didn't get blown out, which I didn't think they were going to do. My score was off. It wasn't as close it was close to the score that I picked, but it didn't end up being a score. But I digress. Now let's shift over. Brownies, Steelers. So I called this one. Big Ben didn't do Big Ben. He didn't go off for 35, 36, 38 points. But I did say this would look like, to me, it was going to be an L, just for the simple fact that it was Steelers Browns and Mayfield arm basically half hanging off. So give me your thoughts on this.
Well, it played out kind of how I expected to play out. I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense isn't a slouch. I mean, they got a really good defense. I knew their offense was trash, but I didn't expect us to lay an egg. It was just so. It was so old Browns. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it didn't feel like how it began at the beginning of the season. The expectations, the hype, the talent, and everything we have. It felt like one of those old Browns teams that was just happy to be around, hanging around to the end of the game. Like once we let them get close and we let them take the lead, that's when I just said, you know what, we ain't got it, man. Baker, to all his credit, and as much as I defend him, he hasn't won us a game yet. He didn't put it on his shoulders. He didn't drive us down the field. Now, it wasn't his fault. That fumble by Jarvis was, like I said, typical old Browns, man. We driving. We got a chance to take the lead, at least tie the game up, kick a field goal. Or I think a field goal would have, we were at 10-15 or something like that at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, regardless, that was a drive killer because he was on point the whole way down. Once that happened, I knew it was over. I said, it's just not going to happen for us, man. We haven't been able to make that play, and we don't like the superstar people that we need, like JOK. He wasn't in the game. We had so many. We had a pick six guy. Our own teammates run into each other and drop a pick six. I mean, it was just typical Brown stuff.
OBJ dropping balls again.
OBJ dropping, Jarvis uncharacteristically dropping, Higgins dropping he never drops passes. I mean, everybody was. It was just like we were doing everything we could to keep Pittsburgh in the game. It should have been a blowout. I mean, not even a blowout, but we should at least put up 20, 24 points on them easy. And our defense, again, Miles, it drives me crazy. I listen to all the sportscasts. I see all the stuff on Twitter and stuff talking about the PFF rankings and all that, talking about he had the best game of a defensive lineman and made this offensive lineman look like he had the worst game. But he still came away with one sack. You know what I'm saying? One sack. And he didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's just those things where you got to step up and take over a game, man. And nobody else did it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to do it. So it was frustrating, man. It felt like an old Browns team. I'm wearing the grave digger, the Grim Reaper hood, man, because it's over, man. Our season's, I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs. Our division is so tough right now, and we put ourselves in a hole. We got a lot of good teams in the AFC, so
I have to disagree. Man. I have to disagree that I don't think the division is tough at all. If you look at the records, ain't nobody running away with that division. Nobody.
No, but I mean, I think it's just so top heavy. I mean, like you said, again, we're 1 game out of first, 1.5 games out of first.
But that's
place
what I'm saying.
Division.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's 7-0. Nobody's 6-1. Nobody's running away with that division. That division is up for grabs. And I think, to me personally, they need to shut Baker down. Period. I'm sorry. Shut him down for the season. Let him have his surgery. He's not helping you out in the field. He's not. He's actually hurting you more than helping you. He has no chemistry with OBJ at all. OBJ is supposed to be a superstar, but I called it from day one when I told you he was going to get there, and I told you he wasn't going to work out with OBJ, and you fought me on that, and you told me, nah, man, OBJ is a weapon, and I told you, OBJ was not going to work out in Cleveland like everybody thought he was.
Well, and it's so many things. Like now, obviously, I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but the whole video that the OBJ's father put out, showing how many times he's opened and stuff. And that, it was so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Anybody with common sense, like everybody can jump on, oh, look at that. You don't know football. A couple of those plays, they're showing him wide open, turning around. And in the meanwhile, Baker's in the backfield running for his life. You know what I'm saying? Or the pressure getting to him and he can't stand back there and throw it. Now, there were some missed throws and things like that. And he hasn't been on the same page with OBJ. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that he's dropped critical balls and critical moments that make a difference. And maybe Baker doesn't trust him. Maybe Baker really doesn't want to put the ball in his hands because he doesn't trust that he's going to catch it. He hasn't been automatic. And like you said, the way he left New York and when he came here, it was just injury after injury. And I mean, whatever. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming OBJ for the injuries or anything like that. But at this point, I don't blame Baker for that. Now, mind you, we didn't trade him. I thought at the trade deadline they said they were talking about it and we're considering to do it. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't. But now that he's going to be here, Stefanski got to do a better job of putting it in his hands. If you really want to see what he can do, then the 5 passes in a row should go to OBJ. I don't care. Just feed him the ball and see what he can do.
I heard they had a deal on the table for New Orleans, but it fell through. So that was the team that was the closest to getting them, but it fell through. Giants didn't make any moves either. Giants didn't get rid of Ingram. They didn't make any moves. I think they're going to stick to what they have for the rest of the year. But look, at least the Browns are 4-4. They have a shot. They have a shot to actually still make the playoff. They can sneak in as a wild card. So let's not all gloom and doom on the season for the Browns. But my caveat is, you have to shut Baker down. You have to. It's hurting the team. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's great that he's in it. He's going out there with a torn labrum. He's playing his heart out. He's doing the best he can. His mobility is shit right now. You know what I mean? What does he do? He's not producing for you guys. He's not scoring touchdowns. He's not throwing the ball as hard as he can throw it downfield because, he just can't.
Well, that I think. I mean, again, I don't know if it's Baker. I don't know. Like I said, he got there. He got cleared. He didn't play bad. He didn't make any big plays that cost us the game. He didn't do anything to win the game for us. But I mean, if his shoulder's good and the doctors say he's good, and I mean, my biggest thing is Stefanski, man. Stefanski, I'm so like I'm watching your guys' game. I'm watching the Giants game, and I'm watching these dudes throw the ball 20, 25, 30 yards down the field, or just being creative and hitting receivers on the outside. Like I know he had this system and everything that involved a lot of tight ends. Like he liked to run these 2 and 3 tight end sets and 2 receiver. You know what, man? Either run the ball and do it effectively or throw it to your receivers, man. I'm about sick of this dink and dunk stuff now, man. I mean, like you said, you came into the game. The game plan just seemed terrible. Like either Chubb wasn't 100%, he didn't look 100%, and they should have handed the ball off to Dearness Johnson more and gave him some touches, especially after what he did the week before. But you know, you run the ball with Nick Chubb 16 times. He only broke away like one good run. But they just went away from the run. And then when they went to the passing game, they went to the short stuff again.
Dink and dunk stuff.
Yeah. And it's just like, can you test their corners? Do we have a go route? Like it's one of the easiest routes in the playbook, man. Can you run a go route?
So one of the things that I've seen similarity between Stefanski and Judge is they're very conservative at the wrong times. Like in that game yesterday, why not chuck the ball down the field right before the half to see if you get it in the end zone? What was it going to hurt? If he got intercepted, so what? Who cares? It's the end of the half. They're not going to run it back for a touchdown, man. Like you got to take shots like you took a knee. Like throw the damn ball into the end zone, man. See if somebody can catch it for you. It's not like it hasn't worked before in the past. You got to take shots. Like to me, it's this conservative. I don't know if it's because it's the Belichick tree that he comes from, but it doesn't matter to me because even Belichick wasn't that conservative. You know what I mean? Belichick trusted Tom Brady, to be on that field. Does he not trust Jones? You know what I mean? Does he not trust his team enough to be able to go down there and at least try to catch the ball before the half? And the more I sit and I think about it, I'm not putting this on their offensive coordinator. I'm not doing it. This is strictly on Judge because he can call the plays, but Judge has to say he can override it anytime he wants.
They threw in, like I said, when we talked a couple weeks back, and I was saying they need to do whatever they got to do to generate offense, and they got to get creative. They ran a trick play that worked again, so they're like 3 weeks in a row now hitting trick plays and working and being effectively. So I mean, it's good that they're doing that. But like you said, it seemed like the difference between your team and my team, it seems like we shoot ourselves in the. I mean, you guys shoot you guys shoot yourselves in the foot. You know, we do it too. Don't get me wrong. It's so sad. It's so eerily similar how our teams, respectively do the things they do. But you guys are moving the ball down the field, and Jones will fumble or somebody will drop a pass at a critical play or something like that. Us, it's just like Stefanski just refuses to break away from, what I'm saying? It's like if he doesn't get the lead and is able to run and ground, pound the ball out at the end of the game, then it's like we're not built to come back from behind. At least we haven't shown it this year. We showed it last year, and it just seemed like I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's afraid of getting Baker hurt. I don't know if he don't trust his receivers. Like I don't know what it is, man. But his offensive play calling has been just lackluster. Let's just put it that way. It's been definitely lackluster, to say the least.
I think it's a little of both. I don't think he wants to get Baker hurt any more than he is already, and I just don't think he trusts his offense to be able to come back in games. But you guys, the only caveat I give you guys is it's your 400 ball club now. You're 4-4. You still got a whole another half a season to play. So your chances of still making the wild card are there. You just have to have some things fall into place for you in order for that to happen. Division's not out of reach for you guys. Nobody's running away with that division, man. So it's not like it's not within reach. Y'all just got to clean some things up, man. So let's transition over to the games coming up. Brownies play who next week?
Cincinnati.
Big game for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like you were just saying, like everything we've talked about, all this gloom and doom and everything, all that can be washed away with one win. You know what I'm saying? We go into Cincinnati and win that game. Now, basically, we're almost in a tie for the division. We'll see what happens with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But if we go and beat Cincinnati, then everything changes. Then, you know what I'm saying? This team that was so hyped. They lost last week to the Jets. Everybody was crowning them after they beat the Ravens and everything like that. It's going to be a tough game, man. I mean, Burrows is looking good. I mean, our defense, it picks and chooses, man. I mean, I want to come in and say, like, Burrows got sacked, I forget, 3 times, I think, last week against the Jets. The Jets front line is nothing like what our paper money should say that our front line should look like. So we should have just as much, success. But that's the caveat, man. Who knows, what defense is going to show up this week. So it's a tough game, man. But like you said, with the win this week, that changes everything. That'll put everybody back in a good mood and have us hopefully, continue to keep the winning streak going.
Well, I think the Browns will pull this one off. I have a feeling that they're going to pull this one off. I think it's a Ohio versus Ohio type deal. And Paul Brown, he's the one who created the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think it's, the rivalry is going to be there. Those are always, anything within a division is a close game. I think they're going to want to bounce back in this game, but they have to get a plan that's going to work around Baker, and they still haven't done that. But for me, this game is going to be a grounded out game like the last couple ones have been because of Baker's shoulder. But I see them pulling this game out 24-21. I think they can put up 24 points in this game because Cincinnati's defense is not the greatest. You should be able to run on Cincinnati. So if they can continue to run the ball, they can score touchdowns that way. Even if Baker can't throw 50 yards down the field, he still can do 15, 20. I believe he can get the ball up and then just run. Because it's going to wear the defense down eventually anyway. If you keep running the ball, it's especially with the running backs that the Browns have. So I see this 24-21 Browns win this game.
Yeah, my keys to victory are very similar. Run the ball. I mean, I don't know if Chubb is healthy or not, but if he is healthy, we need to see a healthy dose of Chubb. We need to see a healthy dose of Dearness Johnson. We gotta stick to it, man. We can't abandon the run. We can't sprinkle it in here and there. It's got to be consistently. We got to pound the ball because when you got a high-powered offense like Cincinnati's, and you should know, the Giants lived off of this when they won their Super Bowls. You keep that person off the field. You keep Tom Brady off the field. You keep whoever that quarterback is that's lighting you up. You got to keep him off the field. And the only way to do that is extended drives, running the ball, clock management. The only problem is when you play those type of games like we did against Pittsburgh last week, you got to get turnovers, man. You got to get turnovers. You got to get stops. So that was my other thing, man. Turnovers. We're there. We're almost there. We miss a pick here. They don't get a fumble there. Last time they played, I think Myles Garrett's a strip sack Burrows twice, or Burrows fumbled the ball twice against us. We gotta have some turnovers. If we can get them to turn the ball over like New York did and run the ball consistently, I think those two keys right there are enough to get us the victory.
Well, it wasn't Burrows that cost them the game, though. It was their defense. Burrows was putting up points. Their defense couldn't stop anybody. So I think the keys of victory for you guys is going to be your defense and your running game, because Burrows can put up points. That's not going to be the issue. What it's going to be the issue is if the Browns defense can stop Burrows from putting up points. Right.
And the thing, and like I said, stopping them and slowing them down, whatever you want to say, even the game that he threw the ball 60-something times and had, he threw the ball 60 times. We were handily winning that game. We were letting them back in the game. A lot of those passes were just, garbage time and let them catch back up. But you're right. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have JOK back for this game. I doubt it. I thought he was out for 3 weeks, but I'm praying that he's back because that would be a huge boost if we can get him back. Jamar Chase is a monster. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I feel like this dude's going to put up 200 yards on us easy because our corners are suspect as they come. We can't shut down any star receiver on any team. So we'll see how that goes. But
what's your final score?
I see the game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, man. I honestly, like I said, my keys are to turn the ball over and run the ball, but I honestly see it coming down to be like a 30-21 game, 30-24. I'm going to have to say Cincinnati, man. I just think the Browns, we're starting to look like the old Browns, man. We got controversy, again, instead of talking about the playoffs and handling business, we're talking about this OBJ crap. We're talking about Baker isn't the quarterback. I just feel like, the Browns Right now, this is it, man. I don't have a lot of faith, man. I think Burrows is going to light him up probably. So I'd say about 30-21 Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. All right, so let's shift gears and let's head over to the Giants game. They are playing the excuse me, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're always going to be always going to be LA Raiders to me, but
Oakland,
Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are playing better now ever since Gruden, got kicked off resigned. We all know he basically got fired without getting fired. Cancel culture strikes again. He got canceled out. But they've been resilient, been winning games and been playing well. To me, Giants don't have a chance in this game. I honestly don't think the Raiders defense is good. They have a good defense. I just don't think this is the game I think the Giants get blown out in. I didn't think they were going to get blown out against Cincinnati against Kansas City because I didn't think Kansas City was that good, and I was correct. They're not that good. But I think the Raiders can put up points in a hurry, and their defense is one of the best in the league right now. So I think this is the game where the Giants are going to, right before they go on their bye week, going into that break, man, they're already deflated. They're 2-6. They're going into their ninth game of the season. Right before the bye week, they have to play Tampa Bay as soon as they get back. Man, I'm telling you right now, I think they're going to check out this game, just take their L and go home. So I personally, there's never really any keys to this game for me because Daniel Jones keeps proving that he can play. But if you can't run the ball and you can't have receivers that catch the ball and your defense is undisciplined, your offense is undisciplined, you're not going to win. So I think they're going to revert back to what they did. They're probably going to average maybe 2 touchdowns in this game, but I see it more 35-14 this game. I got the Raiders winning this game in it's a complete wash. It's going to be a blowout to me.
Yeah, I mean, prior to is Tony out still? Is he going to be?
No, he came back in the game after he hurt his finger.
Oh, he did come back?
Yeah, he came back in the game, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if you can handle Kansas City's offense, again, they're not the juggernauts that they were before. I think they should be able to handle Carr. Now, mind you, there's a couple different factors. So, they're playing at home. The Giants got the home game. Oakland's coming from the west to the east. And so, it's an early game for them. They're going to be playing basically at like 10 o'clock their time or 11 o'clock their time. So, it does make a difference. Now, how much of a difference, who knows? I think my keys to victory, the biggest thing is Oakland's offense is that's their thing, man. They can score, and the Giants defense has been playing lights out. And that young boy, the rookie that they drafted, Ojulari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean him and Williams up front. I think they can disrupt some things to keep the game a little bit close. I was completely wrong, man. Like I said about the Kansas City game, so I'm gonna lean on the side of caution this time. I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be a closer game. I don't think the Giants are gonna pull it out, just because I think Oakland's a little bit too much. I mean Oakland, just because I think Las Vegas is a little bit too much for them. But with it being a home game, with I think they can feel a little bit of momentum. I know it's deflating to lose the way they did, but I mean, it's something to say to go into Kansas City and basically go punch for punch with them until the end. So I honestly see it coming down to like a 20 game, something like that, field goal game, pretty close. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think the Giants, I think they're in the same mindset as you. I think they're going to start rebuilding for next year. And I don't think, players are human, man. When it seems like that season's pretty much coming to an end and their playoff hopes aren't looking too great, I think players start thinking about vacations and start thinking about contracts and stuff like that, and you start to lose the locker room at that point. So, yeah, I'd say about 24-21, Oakland.
So, like I said before, I think this is going to be a Giants going to get washed in this game. There's no positive takeaways from this game that's going to happen. Their defense has been playing good, but like I said, their offense is not scoring enough. Their defense can hold a team with 20 points, and you can't put up 20 points. So you're not helping your defense by the offense not doing their job. So like I said, the defense at some point is going to say, "What the hell's of us trying so hard if you guys are not providing us something to play for?" So like I said, I think this game is bye week time. I think they're going to be checked out for this game. I don't care if it's at home or not. The Giants will be good. I think it'll be close to first quarter, second quarter, maybe before the half. After the second half is when I think the Raiders are gonna, start putting up points on the Giants, because the Giants already know their bye week is coming. So you're gonna see a lot of crap touchdowns in that game, a lot of junk touchdowns, because Giants gonna play soft in that game at some point, and the Raiders are just gonna take advantage of it. But before we jump off here, what is going on with the media, man, and like this love affair with OBJ, thinking that because if he gets put on another team that he's going to have the same numbers that he had, when early in his career. The guys are walking a mass unit. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. He's not catching the balls and when people say he's not catching the balls, he's not catching the balls. He's been given ample opportunities to make plays, and he hasn't done it.
No.
In big spots.
I think part of it is the fact that a lot of these people out there, like all the talking heads in the media and sports, on ESPN and all the ex-players and stuff like that, you got a lot of guys that didn't like the fact that Baker was cocky and his personality. He's the number one pick and, doing all these commercials. It's a lot of hate. Basically, there's a lot of hate for Baker. So when it comes down to between, is it Baker's fault or OBJ's fault? They're going to say it's Baker's fault. It's, look at OBJ. He's running around the field, getting wide open, and Baker's not hitting him. When reality is, like you said, so when does it become it's an OBJ thing? Because it took me a while to get to this point too. Before the season started, I told you, I thought he was going to come in fully healthy and rock it. I thought he was going to be out here lighting it up. But I mean, again, is it a scheme thing? Is it Stefanski? Is it what? He wasn't doing it in New York at the end of his tenure there. He came here, injury. I mean, the dude is made of glass. So, and I was joking with a friend, I'm like, maybe Baker doesn't want to throw it to him because he's afraid he's gonna get his ass killed. Maybe he thinks he's gonna break a neck next time he catches a pass or something like that. Because apparently, every time he plays a couple games in the season, he either breaks an ankle, pulls a hamstring, or something's gonna happen to him. So. I don't know. I think, OBJ hasn't proven anything to me yet. If he really wanted to get the ball and everything, then he should be outspoken. Forget this humble OBJ. Come out in the media and say, get me the ball. Tell the coach, get me the ball. If you want to be the number one superstar receiver on the team and don't have your father coming out here making the case for you, go out and say it yourself. Say, Baker needs to get me the ball. Because other receivers do it. You know what I'm saying? You already made it past the trade deadline. So what else is there to do? They cut you. You're getting paid to do nothing. So I feel like at this point, I think it's OBJ. I just think that they're trying to put the blame on Baker, put it on his shoulders and everything like that. But the reality is, OBJ just hasn't been doing it, man. I mean,
there has to be accountability on both ends here. Has to be accountability on OBJ as well. You can't say you're not getting the ball. I mean, for his daddy to come out and try to defend OBJ, to me, that's Bush League. You know what I mean? You got LeBron tweeting out too, free OBJ. You can free OBJ all you want to. He's not going to produce like he used to. He's had too many injuries. I actually think he's kind of scared to be on that field now too. No matter what anybody says, if you look at him when he's on that field, he's not running the same way he used to. He's not putting in the same effort that he used to when he was on the field with the New York Giants. He's just not. You know what I mean? You need guys who want to go out there, and you don't give me the excuse that because you're in Cleveland, you had an opportunity to win here. You saw what the Browns did without OBJ last year. You saw how they were able to spread that ball out, and you saw what Baker was able to do with people who actually wanted to go out there on the field and play. To me, it's nonsense, man. To me, it's nonsense. Take some accountability for himself. Go out there and show that because now this becomes a dress rehearsal for you, because at some point, you're going to be gone off the Browns. So if you're not showing something, a team's going to take a flyer on you, but you're going to be a year older, 3 or 4 injuries more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at some point, team's going to be like, man, you're our second receiver. You're not a star. And he's not a star anymore. Landry took that spot from him. And Landry was supposed to be the second receiver on the team when OBJ got here. Landry took that star position. Just like with the Giants. To me, Tony's the guy you need to concentrate on as being your number one. Point blank, period. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care the money that you paid out to bring in Galladay. I don't care. Tony is your future. That's the guy you got to have chemistry with when it comes to Daniel Jones, because yards after the catch. And I told everybody this. Nobody wanted to listen. Judge didn't want to start playing him because he didn't think he deserved to be on the field at first. Like, are you kidding me? Like that's that old school stupid mentality that gets
Right.
people and gets employees fired from a team because you're not cultivating the talent that's there. That's like working for a major company. You have somebody that's multi-talented, you see it there, and you got them riding a desk because of what? Because of old,
because he ain't bending the knee, because
he ain't right, because he ain't bending the league. Come on, man. That's to me, that's nonsense. The only people, to me, honestly, this is the only old school mentality that I have. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The only people that should be riding the bench the first year are your quarterbacks coming out of college. I don't care what anybody says. You will ruin a kid if you do not sit him at least a year. Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years, and he's one of the greatest QBs of all time. Even Eli sat a year. You know what I mean? You also have they're gonna ruin this kid in Chicago. They're gonna ruin Field in Chicago, man.
Yeah.
Like what are you guys doing? The kid should have sat. Leave Dalton in for the season. You weren't gonna win anyway.
Yeah, and it's not like it was. I mean, just on that point, it's not like it used to be where you sign a first round quarterback and they're guaranteed $100 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like these huge contracts. Now it's broken up and they're not getting paid, exorbitant amounts of money and stuff. You got them locked up for 4 or 5 years as it is. There's no reason to rush them out there. But like you said, your superstars and people who, want to be, honestly, I think OBJ would have been traded if Peoples wasn't hurt. If Donovan Peoples-Jones was healthy and we had enough receivers out there, because I don't know what's going on with Schwartz. That's been a disappointment. And then we got Higgins, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Our receivers right now are just Jarvis and Higgins. Schwartz is the non-factor, and DPJ's been hurt. So if he wasn't hurt, I think they would have made that move. I think they did. I think they would have made that move, and I think it was probably on the Saints too with their hesitancy. I can't even say the word. I think they were more hesitant to make the move on OBJ than it was the Browns hesitant to get rid of him. I think they just were worried about the injuries and everything like that, or else they would have did it. Because I mean, now don't get me wrong. Now that the Saints just lost Jameis Winston, I don't know. Maybe they feel like their season is pretty much a wash too. So maybe they wanted to just see what they could get out of OBJ while they had a couple games left. But yeah, man. I mean, your superstars got to play. You got to recognize that. Stefanski's got to recognize that, man. I mean, you got too much talent, man. Get the ball in these people's hands and stop playing games, man. That's my thing. I hate that. I like our tight ends, but that's not it, man. You use what you got, man, and we'll see what happens, man.
All right, folks. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I am Francisco,
Chef Boy Ortiz,
and we will see you guys next week. Have a great night.
Peace.